Once at the top, we move to another snow-filled area of the forest, this time the final area of this place. Be careful not to fall in the water while walking to the platforms, and be sure to land on the log that's slowly moving between the platforms as you make your way over. The frog enemies are really the only new enemy we have to contend with, and they're just as easy as most of the animal-type enemies we've been fighting. Right here, you'll have to make a pretty long jump from the log, but just wait for the right opportunity, and you should be able to make just a long enough jump to land on the platform. When you make it to the end, it's time to battle a wolf enemy. This ends up being an extremely easy battle. Just stand still and wait for him to walk towards you and just keep punching him. He'll do a little lunge jump right at you, and as long as you time it correctly, you'll be able to keep hitting him with the punches. Level 3 is probably the worst level in the game. It's a scene between Belle and Beast outside the castle, and Beast has to catch snowballs from Belle. As you can see, Belle's sprite is probably one of the worst 8-bit sprites I've probably ever seen. She kinda looks like a blue Jawa to me, but that's just my opinion. It can be a little bit difficult to catch the snowballs at first, but once you get used to where you have to stand, it shouldn't be too much trouble. You can see we have a snowball counter at the bottom right corner, which means how many snowballs we can miss before we lose a life. After you catch a few, she'll move off, and you'll have to catch another set from her in another area of this place. Catching snowballs is the only thing you're going to have to do in this level, so just keep moving and catching snowballs, and eventually you'll get through this whole area and will be inside the library of the castle. Finally, after catching dozens of snowballs, we're inside the library for the next level of the game. Not surprisingly, inside the library there's a lot of killer books that want to seemingly kill beasts. These books will fly around, drop off of shelves, and just run across the floor trying to get right at you. Thankfully though, most are easy to dodge, and if you have to fight them, one punch again is all Beast needs to take them out. The library is another maze-filled level, so you have to choose the right paths and right areas to climb up and climb down in order to continue advancing in this place. While we've made it farther into the game, the levels are pretty much just as easy. The hardest thing though about this place is just finding the correct path and platforms to jump to. Other than that, the enemies really shouldn't be too much of a trouble, and you should have plenty of time to journey your way through. Just be very careful when you do make certain longer jumps that you have your fist ready in case a book wants to get in your way and try to knock you down to a lower platform. At the top of the library is another boss time, as we have a gargoyle that busts through the window. This boss is only going to take a few hits to take out, and when you get him close to the ground, you can actually just keep spamming your punch and hitting him over and over again, and he won't be able to get his fireball projectile out at all. So once again, it ends up being an extremely easy boss. Well, now it's the final level of the game, the rooftop area of Beast's Castle. Gaston is finally trying to take out Beast, and we'll have to work our way up to the top to take him out. One of the major threats of this area is in the walls. You can see this black lining, and anytime thunder strikes, it'll cause it to electrify, electrifying you if you're anywhere within its path. So you have to be careful and try not to be standing in it when walking across the platforms, or else you're going to get Beast shocked. At the right end, climb up the small platforms to get up to the green area, then start working your way back to the left. When you get to the edge here, just wait a few seconds for a small platform to show up, and then jump to it, and then make a long jump to the left side. Be very careful not to jump too highly, because you can see that the lightning bolts are crashing on the roof just slightly above you. It can be a little bit tricky to dodge some of the lightning bolts, so you may take a hit or two when working your way up the staircases and across some of the higher platforms of the roof. When you make it here, make a long jump to the left, and you should be able to cling on to this platform. Once you've done so, just walk a little bit more to the left and you'll enter a door. In the second area, we have to deal with some villagers that are going to be trying to fire their guns at us. Just keep moving to the right, because every time they fire their shots, even if they hit you with it, it does very minimal damage, and some of the bullets you'll be able to just jump right over. While in the movie lots of villagers storm the castle, it seems like LeFou is the only villager that's actually trying to kill Beast at this part in the game. After you've been shot at and jumped over to LeFou's head quite a few times, you'll make it to another door on the far right. Once outside the castle, it's now time for the final rush to get to the rooftop. When climbing up, punch Gaston one time so that you can get a little bit ahead of him. This should be all you really need to actually keep continuing on and just jumping up and up all the different levels of the castle. If Gaston gets close again, just deliver another punch so you can get a little bit of extra space between you and him. There's a lot of floors that you're going to have to climb up, and just keep moving very quickly as fast as you can all the way up to the top. You can't defeat Gaston until we get to the rooftop itself. After a seemingly endless amount of floors, we finally reach the roof. Run all the way to the right, then try to punch Gaston and get to the opposite side of him. Then just keep delivering punches every couple of seconds after he stops breathing heavily, and you'll punch him closer and closer to the edge of the roof. Once he finally gets to the edge, he'll fall off, and you've completed the game. So there you have it, just another one-screen ending as we finish up Beauty and the Beast for the NES. Like I said, probably my biggest gripe about the game is that its graphical presentation definitely wasn't the best for the time. And with that, that's going to wrap up this edition of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.